Hey, this is Michael Hines, owner of SBG New Braunfels Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu School. Today I'm here at Above Ground Pizza. I'll be talking to Jimmy in a second. We'll flip that over. I teach Jiu-Jitsu, I teach Muay Thai, kickboxing, we teach adults, we teach kids. If you're interested in that, just start checking through our YouTube channel. You'll find your way to our website, and that'll be fun. But today, I'm going to be talking about Jimmy. And we're just trying to, a big point of our podcast is just to let people know what's awesome here in New Braunfels, and Above Ground Pizza definitely fits the bill for that. Jimmy, tell us about Above Ground Pizza.
Well, this is kind of a hybrid. My wife and I have been in restaurants together for 35 years, and we had another place down here in the downtown area, and that was called Underground Pizza because it was literally underground. It was under the old City Hall building, which was really cool. People loved it. It was a really neat atmosphere. We had that, and we did that for 3 years, and then we kind of moved on to some other projects, and then it led us to wanting to do another pizza place because we both love doing pizza, and that's what led us here to our current location, 311 FM 306, over here by the big shopping center, and we're here doing our thing with pizza. We do it a little bit different. We have it's a sourdough crust, so it's quite a bit different. We don't use yeast, so we have a mother that we use, and that's what we make our starter with, and that's what gives us our rise. It also gives it a very different flavor. There's a chemical action that goes on that kind of gives it a little bit of a buttery flavor. There's no butter, but it gives it a buttery flavor. So we're pretty proud of our crust. Now this crust here, this is our gluten-free crust, and we don't make these, we buy them. There's a company that does these. They're just absolutely fantastic. And for our gluten-free people, we actually have people who are not gluten-free, and they still come in sometimes and want these because it's more of a thinning cracker crust. So pretty popular. So Mr. Michael,
I'll pause you for a second there. I generally have to avoid gluten. It hits my stomach in bad ways. And this is the best gluten-free crust that I have had, period. I can't think of anything that even compares to it. And your regular crust, when I'm feeling adventurous, is awesome too. And actually it actually doesn't disrupt my gut that much. So I'm actually okay usually to even get away with a little bit, but I just have to, I can't push it too far on the gluten scheme.
That has a lot to do with our regular crust too. The flour that we buy is a lot of the American flour, when they get down to double O, which is like super fine, which is what we use for pizza, they push it really fast in America. Everything's about money. You got to turn the dollar. So I think they grind it like 4 to 6 times, where the European flours are ground 12 times.
I see.
So you can imagine how much slower it goes through, and it doesn't burn the gluten or the protein as much.
I see.
So the European flour, you don't have to use quite as much. It's not burnt. I honestly feel people go over to Europe all the time and talk about the pasta. I eat the pasta. It doesn't upset my stomach. It's the flour. So we use nothing but spectacular flour. Like I said, this is made of completely gluten-free flour, rice flour, and all kinds of different stuff. And this is a pesto, which you like. So we're gonna put a little bit of cheese on here, and then it gets all the wonderful veggies. And you added to yours, you added some blackened chicken, which we make in the shop here. And I think the difference between our shop really is that we do a lot of things here that, as a chef, I find to be should be naturally done. Like, we cook our own chicken breast. This is all thighs that I get in, boneless, skinless thighs, and that's our own blackening mix. So we blacken the chicken. So it's not processed in some factory in, Pagoima. It's made here at the shop, and I think that the quality is of our proteins and stuff like that. And the cheese blend, we use a 5-cheese blend, and it's buffalo mozzarella, Swiss, provolone. It's just a better mix of cheese. So there's a lot of little things that we do that are kind of subtle, but really do kind of separate our pizza from most of the other places in town here.
Something just to mention here that I know, but is maybe becoming only apparent as people listen to you, is that Jimmy is a world-class chef who just happens to like making pizza. And that's what I tell people all the time. People ask me about Above Ground Pizza, say, and if Jimmy's telling you that he's making something else for the week or whatever, because sometimes you guys will like throw in ramen or like you do like all these kind of interesting specials, and people are like, ramen at a pizza place. I'm like, look, Jimmy is a world-class chef, and he just happens to like making pizza. And if this week he says he wants to make something else, shut up and eat it, basically.
We really like throwing pizza. One of the reasons is the way I set the restaurant up here is it's very interactive. This is exactly where I work. You get to sit, talk to me. You can watch the chefs making the food. There's nowhere to hide here. And I wanted to do that on purpose. It's a show kitchen, and I wanted people to see like where we work and what we do. And if there's no gimmicks or nothing hidden here, we're throwing pie right here to order. And that's why we kind of put this whole thing where it is a show kitchen where everybody gets to see and watch, look right in the oven where things are happening. Now this is a regular crust, or skin we call them in the business. And I'm going to show you how we basically throw that. It's pretty simple. Got a little peel. You use your cornmeal. And you start off here, and you just basically go around with your fingers. And you don't touch the crust. Now you can do this at your house. These pizza boxes have gotten these goozy boxes have gotten extremely popular for people at home. The big thing I'm going to tell you a couple things. Number one, you can't make pizza dough like once every 3 months and think you're going to just crush it and ace it. Maybe after you've gotten it real good, you can do that, but you're going to have to work with it for a while. And it's also hard to make like 2 pizza doughs. So maybe make a little bit of a bigger batch and invite some people over. Also, don't be afraid to try a few times. It's not going to be perfect maybe the first time. So try it a couple times. It won't be a disaster as long as you don't like stick it to the goozy box or whatever method you're using to cook it. As long as it doesn't stick, it really won't be a problem. So you see, I stretched that out while I was talking. It's not hard to do. You get used to it. And then my assembly method, and I'm pretty much a stickler about it, is I put my sauce on, and our sauce is of course made from scratch, simmered for 8 hours. Lots of stuff you don't get at other places, but we're not bragging or nothing. So you start off, and I put a thin layer of cheese down. I'll tell you what that does. And most pizza places don't do this because it's hidden, so you don't see it. But it keeps my ingredients from dropping through here and just sitting in the sauce and getting buried and muddled in the sauce. So this is like a Cody, so we're just going to do assorted meats while we're sitting here talking. But that little layer of cheese really pops up those ingredients and make them so they don't sink. And then we're just going to do the assorted meats. And then we'll show the finish and how to get this off the peel. And I'll tell you that the biggest secret here with this is God hates a coward. And you got to kind of just do this, even if you like make a mess once. I'll show you how to break this off the peel. Plenty of cornmeal. It's going to just burn off in your oven, so that's not going to be an issue for you. But and then we go with a little lighter cheese on top, not so much because I still want to see my ingredients. All right, so now I got a nice pie. So the first shake, you're going to want to break it. See how it broke from the peel, like it's moving back and forth? So I know when I go to my oven, I can just slide it right off and it'll pop right in because I already broke it from the peel. So now that's loaded in. We'll rotate around our other pie here. And that's pretty much the difference. Our oven is completely different. It's 100% wood burning. We have no gas in this entire building. And you don't taste the wood. That's not what it's about. It's more about the fact of the inconsistencies in the temperatures and having the pizza chef be able to put that pizza right where he wants it to get to those beautiful little leopard spots on there and get it blown up just the way it's supposed to. So it really is about the pizza guy working it, and it's about the imperfections and the changes in the wood oven every day that make it to where you really do have to be kind of more of a skilled chef rather than just somebody who's just like, throwing pizzas on a belt that takes it underneath a warmer. And we did that on purpose because I want my chefs here. I don't want them on the phone all day long on TikTok and all that other stuff. They need to be tended to the oven and taking care of their food. So that's kind of the oven, and that's the pizza, and that's how we throw it down.
Awesome.
That's
so
fun.
cool.
It's pretty fun. It's a neat experience. I think it's fun for people to come. The kids love to sit at the counter here and watch. We give them little pieces of dough. We let them play with it and stuff like that. So it's a very interactive environment. I think it's fun. Big fat beer wall with really unusual.
Let's walk over there real quick.
We have, and you could do a pan down here. We keep a really good selection on the wall. Lots of stuff other people don't have. We just got in this wonderful Hopadillo Juicy, which is great. New Braunfels Brewing Company is represented here. They're from right downtown. We've got a nice company out of Fredericksburg, Allstadt, that does a couple of German beers. Big, wonderful names. We got a Betty Kolsch that's from High Wheel down in San Antonio. That's just absolutely wonderful. We got the McConaughey's. So it's a great wall. You come in, you can sample whatever you want. And we try to make this place kind of like a Cheers with pizza. Everybody kind of knows who you are. By the second time you come in, you're going to get a holler from everybody. And we just tried to set up like an environment where people will be comfortable and want to be. I think we did a good job. I like being here.
I agree.
I spend plenty of time here.
Yeah. I try to spend as much time here as I can, right? So it's fun.
It's a neat place. I love it. And it's located centrally, so it's fun. You got to come down and see us.
Well, thank you, Jimmy.
Oh,
totally
you're welcome.
awesome. And come get some pizza, folks.
You bet.